Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit.
Praises, family, all praises to the heavenly, holy, almighty creator of infinity, eternity, the universe, and all there is. This is Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit. Hello, family. We are here together once again in love and comfort and safety, in joy, so that we may go over some of the current events of our global world today, so we can get some spiritual discernment as we walk around in these carnal containers. All praises. And this is the first time we are coming to you, family, on Facebook Live. So I am excited. I am nervous. I hope you have some enjoyment. I hope you come in and visit. I hope you share. And if you are entertained, enlightened, if you get a little peeved, hey, if it's so within your soul, just check out the links below. We do have a support link for all those who are stimulated in the heart. So today, family, on Facebook, in the city of Detroit, across America and the world, this is Revelations Unveiled on Facebook, and we are Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit on YouTube, on Black Junction TV, on Twitter and Instagram, Pinterest, and BitChute. So on any of those channels, you will be able to peruse the wonderful content of the channel, which is history, analysis and assessment, commentary on current events, and just coming together in the spirit of love to discuss the plight, the future, and the promise of the so-called African Americans in America, the blacks, the Negroes, the coloreds, and any other variation of what they call us folk here in this carnal captivity, in this land of confusion. All praises. So today, family, came across an article by a celebrity, and it is in the vein of us being mindful, continuing to educate ourselves, and continuing in the care, concern, and compassion as we're dealing with what some people call the pandemic of COVID-19. Now, I don't know how Facebook will respond with these so-called algorithm words. You can't say certain words. You can't have a certain sentiment. You can't promote. So I'll try my best to walk the tightrope of the so-called community guidelines of Facebook. But we will be getting some information from a so-called celebrity off of an article that I found in Yahoo News. And it is in line with the theme of this night's live: VAXX confusion. The confusion of getting vaccinations, the confusion of not getting vaccinations, my confusion of, if you get the vaccination, what does that mean as it pertains to the so-called virus? And when you hear the word so-called, just imagine the air quotes, so-called pandemic virus. So family, in terms of the question, have you received your vaccination? Here personally at Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit, I regard that as private medical information. That is your personal business as to whether or not you have received any variation of an injection, a shot, or anything pertaining to your what do you call those, inoculation schedule. So there are many people across many lines of society who are beholden to taking various medications or services to maintain their health. And many of us have had the common flu shot along many years. And so this so-called COVID vaccine is supposed to be eased into the American mind that it is just as effective and safe as any other injection that you may have received. So personal medical information for all that hear and are involved. And in medical terms, that falls under the HIPAA law. Your personal business and practice medically is just that. So be it, and all praises. So me personally, I have not undertaken to get the vaccine. I do not desire to get the vaccine. My assessment of the vaccine use falls along my personal line of analysis of the situation as they have presented to us globally in the media, through the lines of these medical institutions, these government institutions, and these experts. And so with all of that information available for everyone's critical evaluation, we also take into account everyone's individual emotional impact, since we have been within this so-called COVID containment. And so we have lost loved ones. Some of us have been affected and sickened ourselves. We bear the spiritual turmoil, as we have been presented with the death daily along the measurements of our states and cities and across the country. And so in compiling these variables by which we will make our decision, some of us have made their decision. So I advocate for the injection, no way or the other. Personal decision based on your critical analysis, your emotional impact, and you will proceed accordingly. And so what I wanted to review is, for those out there who have undertaken to receive the injection, I wanted to verify and clarify. We will be reviewing a so-called celebrity by the name of, let's get her name for record. It is a young lady by the name of Kat Sattler. So we're going to dive into this article, and in the midst of the article, see if we can answer some questions personally and get some clarity for ourselves. And we began. All right, let me get the screen shared up here for your family so we can have a reference. All right, there it is. That's a Yahoo video here. We will just scroll on up. So we have Miss Kat Sattler shared surprising news with fans on Tuesday. She has a breakthrough COVID-19 infection, and she's stressing the importance of getting vaccinated against the virus. All right, family. So Kat Sattler, who is a celebrity, some of you may know, is stressing the importance of getting vaccinated. She is vaccinated. And it says the entertainment reporter who said she's fully vaccinated revealed her diagnosis on Instagram Tuesday alongside a photo of herself in bed. "I'm fully vaccinated and I have COVID," she wrote in the caption. "I'm telling you this so that you understand that the pandemic is very much not over." Sattler also said that she has the Delta variant, which is responsible for outbreaks across the country. Delta is relentless and highly contagious, and grabbed a hold of me even after getting vaccinated, she said. All right, so here is entertainment reporter Kat Sadler family. So she was vaccinated, and even though she was vaccinated, she re no, she contracted COVID, the so-called Delta variant, and has been sickened. And so, boo, 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 there we go, family. That's our first red flag for my COVID confusion. So, family, my confusion is, what does the COVID vaccination injection do? Does it lessen the likelihood of you getting the virus? Does it lessen the likelihood of you dying? Those are the questions that I hope some of you out there will share and address, send commentary, or send links so that we can understand. Now, the current survival stat of COVID, we need to review that. Last time I heard, it was in the high 90 percentile, which means if you contract the virus, if you are of decent medical health with no underlying comorbidities, as they say, or other respiratory impacts, you should recover at a high 90% rate without any injections with regular medical maintenance. So you have your regular high 90 percentile with regular medical maintenance, and then you can get your injection, which is supposed to do what? Lessen the likelihood of you catching, or lessen the likelihood of you transitioning if you do catch it. So what is the critical analysis for those who did not get the shot? If we use Miss Sadler here, she was inoculated, and yet she still caught the virus. What of all those out there who have never caught the virus, family? What type of situation are they dealing with? All right. So that was Miss Cat, the nice little attractive lady there. And so we're going to go ahead and finish covering some elements of the article. I'm going to stop the screen here so you guys can see the wonderful icon. All right. Sadler says she was caring for someone who contracted COVID, although they thought it was just the flu at the time. So the person she was working with thought they had the flu, turned out to be COVID. I did come into close contact with the virus, but I wore a mask. And again, I'm fully vaccinated, she said. I assumed I would be fine. Well, I am not. I'm one of the many breakthrough cases that we are seeing more and more each day. All right, family. And she tossed another flag on the play. She's vaccinated. She wore a mask, and yet she contracted a so-called breakthrough variant of the virus. What does that say about those who never contracted and never receive any injections and do not have any variants? What is our critical analysis of that? Sadler said that her symptoms are not mild, listing off 2 days of fever, a throbbing head, extreme congestion, serious fatigue, and even some weird pus coming out of my eyes as examples, she said. All right, family, she's had the injection, yet she still caught it and is having a not so pleasant time dealing with the symptoms. If you're not vaccinated and not wearing a mask, I assure you don't want to feel like this. And not only are you bound to get sick eventually, you'll be spreading it to others, she wrote. As in my case, I got this from someone who wasn't vaccinated. There's another flag. She was vaccinated. She wore her mask. Turns out the person who thought they had the flu actually had COVID. And even though she was protected in terms of the so-called mask and the so-called injection, she contracted the same virus. And then she said, you'll eventually get sick. And that statement comes into question. As we all sit here and we all listen and review, who of us could say tomorrow we won't get sick of any variation of a disease, bacteria, fungus, etc., that won't make us sick? So that only puts COVID into the relative cases of anything you could contract, which would make you ill. Kat Saller then offered up this advice. If you are vaccinated, don't let your guard down. If you're in crowds or indoors in public, I highly recommend taking the extra precaution of wearing a mask. She stressed that the COVID-19 vaccine isn't foolproof, adding, vaccines lessen the likelihood of hospitalization and death, but you can still catch this thing. So continue to protect yourselves. And as of May 1, 2021, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention transitioned from monitoring all reported COVID-19 cases to focus on those where people were hospitalized or died from breakthrough cases. So the system of analysis and record family has changed to those people who were hospitalized or died from breakthrough cases. According to the CDC data, 4,909 people in the United States have been hospitalized with breakthrough cases of COVID-19, and 988 have died as of July 6th. As of Tuesday, nearly 160 million Americans have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The Delta variant, which is listed as a variant of concern by the CDC, now makes up more than 31% of COVID-19 cases in the US per the CDC data. Sadler's news comes just days after reports of a series of breakthrough COVID-19 infections in the Massachusetts resort town of Provincetown. Overwhelmingly, the affected individuals had been fully vaccinated for COVID-19, reads a statement from the Barnstable County Department of Health issued on Tuesday, which is 2 days ago, family, the 13th of July. The moderate intensity of symptoms indicates that the vaccines are working as predicted. Right there, what about the fact that 90+% of the human population's natural body is working as planned, predicted, and designed? Other reports of breakthrough cases have popped up across the country, including a fully vaccinated California man who had contracted the virus during a trip to Las Vegas. So we're still continuing to see people contract the virus even with the vax. And the questions are going back to the people who do not choose the vaccination, the people who've never had COVID, and the people who are relying on their natural temples, bodily testimonies to purge any of the global bacterial assaults that our bodies have been defending us against for thousands of years. Other reports of breakthrough cases have popped up. The Las Vegas man. Doctors in Kansas City also report a slight uptick in breakthrough COVID-19 cases, particularly in people with compromised immune systems or underlying health issues, which has always been the case, family. And that's the case for any disease. If your immune system is compromised or you have other underlying symptoms, it makes it all relative in the spectrum of infections. It's a small number of patients. University of Kansas Health System Medical Director Steve Stites told Kansas City, Missouri news station KMBC TV. It's misleading to just talk about the number of breakthrough infections rather than the percentage, which is incredibly low. One infectious disease expert, Dr. Amesh Adalja, senior scholar at the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, tells Yahoo Life, no vaccine is 100% protective. We all know that. We all know, family, that no vaccine or nothing is 100% protective. And it is extremely unlikely, as evidenced by the percentage, that a breakthrough infection occurs. Now, Dr. Richard Watkins, an infectious disease physician and professor of internal medicine at the Northeast Ohio Medical University, agrees. Breakthrough infections are rare, and if it does happen, there's almost no risk of death if a person is vaccinated. Okay, that's another one of those colorful statements. Is it a breakthrough case if you've never had it and you simply contract COVID? According to the clinical data, trial data, the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine is 95% effective at preventing symptomatic COVID-19 infections. The Moderna vaccine is 94.1% effective, and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is 66% effective, but 100% effective against hospitalizations and deaths. So we have three pharmaceutical corporations who are touting the effectiveness of their injection values, which is to lessen your chances of hospitalizations and deaths if you contract the virus. But people also have individual responses to a vaccine. A pulmonary critical care expert, Dr. Reno Panettiere, director of the Institute of Translational Medicine and Science at Rutgers University, tells Yahoo, not all individuals get the same immune response to a vaccine, especially the elderly and those with immunosuppression, he says, which puts us back into those so-called compromised demographics. Dr. William Schaffner, an infectious disease specialist and professor at the Vanderbilt University School of Medicine, agrees. People who are frail and immunocompromised won't get the benefits of 95% protection because their immune systems may not respond as well, he said. Instead, they may get 80% protection. There's also the possibility that a COVID-19 variant could evade protection of the vaccine, in part, Schaffner says. So family, they are not layering us with confidence with these injections. Even though you get it, these so-called variants still could come in and render the vaccine to a compromised value, which basically means it decreases its effectiveness. Come on, family. What is our critical analysis of this information they are pushing to us? Hmm, let's see. It is unclear at this point whether the Delta variant is more likely to infect fully vaccinated people than other variants. But Adalja points out that the Delta is becoming the dominant version of the virus in the US. So, if someone is to be infected, whether it is a breakthrough or an ordinary infection, it's likely to be a Delta variant, he said. Doctors stress that while breakthrough infections can happen, they're not common and not usually serious. Most breakthrough infections, when they do occur, are mild, Adalja says. Over time, as more people are vaccinated against COVID-19, it's expected that these breakthrough cases will become less common, Schaffner says. The virus will have more difficulty finding new people to infect as more people become protected from the vaccine, he says. That's the whole concept of herd immunity. All right, family. So that was some nice information for our brains to chew on and let marinate in that common sense gravy that we want to submit ourselves to. And so let me show you guys our channel support link. And I do appreciate that you came and you viewed, and I hope we had a great time. Now, for those who received the injection, this gives us information as to these variants that are emerging. So even though you did receive the injection, the coverage is, we'll just leave it at that. The coverage is. And for those of us out here who have declined getting the injection and will what? Rely on the Lord, rely on our immunities, look at the statistics in full in terms of global numbers, look at the American statistics, maintain our private medical discretion in terms of, is it really anyone's business as to whether or not you've received any level of injection or medication? You may have other private ailments or issues you're dealing with, and no one would be expected for you to disclose your medical or your medicinal regimen just for their personal satisfaction. Herd immunity. Herd immunity. Questionable term because we have always moved about in, our urban areas. We have always moved about in our airport and our travel centers. So can we honestly believe that there ever can be an eradication of any of these so-called variants if there's constant exposure to our brothers and sisters on a global scale? Travelers moving about to different areas of the country. So I think the pharmaceutical companies, along with the government bodies, are putting out this level of information so that the American public will feel comforted. I do question why they never bring out doctors who would reinforce a strong diet, strong medical practices, strong physical exercise practices that would increase or strengthen the immunity of the common man and woman. And then we would continue to educate those populations who are affected by age or other suppressive ailments. So family, just wanted to come on. Once again, this is the first time on Facebook Live. I had a ball being here with you. Please visit the channel at Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit on YouTube, Black Junction TV. Please visit us on Twitter and Instagram, Revelations Unveiled on Facebook. We will come back. We will discuss the topics of today's current events as we examine our spiritual connection to this realm as we move about in these carnal containers we call our bodies. We will return back again in love, safety, comfort, and education for the Holy Hidden Nation. We are the Hebrew Israelites. We are the people of the book. We are coming back in this awakening into our true identity, our true history, our purpose, and our power. And as we watch the decline of our current society of Babylon, with our continuing escalation in spiritual excellence, we are preparing ourselves for rulership in the new kingdom to come. So family, we will come back together again. We will have fun and joy in learning and love, and we shall endure and persevere until. So, until we are together again, I love you. I love you. I love you. This is Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit. We had a nice examination critically of the VAXX confusion, to get the VAXX or not the VAXX. And we will be back soon. I love you.